Hi, I'm Jai and this is my lovely assistant Ingrid, and today we're making bagels. Bagels are really easy to make, they're a lot of fun and they're fun to eat. So 4 cups of high gluten baker's bread flour. Good stuff, okay? So the extra gluten gives it that kind of chewy, doughy, bready, yummy texture to it. Thank God I'm not gluten intolerant. All right, so then with 4 cups of flour, we're going to add 1 full heaping tablespoon of salt and about 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast. Add that right to the flour. And because we're making bagels, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of sugar. I give a 1 heaping tablespoon of sugar. Like that. And then you mix it up. Get your hands dirty with this, making bread. It's kind of fun. And get it all stirred up pretty good, because now you're going to add water. We have just under 2 cups, maybe 1 3/4 cup. Hard to tell because it's not marked, but that's what it is. So we're going to go ahead and just add that in here. All right. And that's it for ingredients. It's pretty basic stuff. You got to stir it up. Okay, so we got our bread dumped. It's still pretty dry, and I'm going to be working it here. The moisture is kind of inside the dough, and I got to work it out to make it more even. Also, when I start working the dough like this and kneading it, I'm helping the gluten to connect and form strong fibers. This is what gives bread its doughy texture. It's kind of a reinforced flour dough structure. Makes it real chewy, which is what you want for your bagels. You want a nice chewy bagel. And we're trying to make ourselves some New York style bagels. So this is what you do. All right, so as you can see now, I got all the little dry parts. And I'm just kind of scooping them up and mixing them up inside. And I turn it around, turn inside out, and just keep kneading it. You want to get a good bread kneading action going on. And it's a little bit of a workout. So, all right. So now we got a good stiff ball of good high gluten dough. Well kneaded. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Now, what we do is we're going to put this back in the bowl, and going to cover it with towel. A little bit of water in the towel. Nice clean terry towel. Get a little bit of water in there. That'll help keep it moist. And just cover it, and then we'll see you in about half an hour, and we'll form our bagels. Okay? So see you then. Okay, so we've waited for 1 hour. I know I said 30 minutes before, but it's 1 hour you have to wait for this nice little dough ball. Proof a little bit. And what we're going to do now is cut it and form it into little bagels. So let's do that. Okay, so we made our little balls, and now we're going to juggle, and we're going to turn them into bagels. The way you do that is you get your little bagel ball, and you stick your thumb right in the middle of it. See? And you tear a little hole in it. See? Little hole. Then you take it and you stretch it around, make a little bagel. And it doesn't have to be real thick. It's gonna get bigger when we cook it and boil it and do that stuff. So we're gonna do this to all of them. Put it in my little tray. Keep doing it. Don't be afraid to try to stretch it out a little bit. You know, you want to make it so you got a nice fat hole in the middle there. See? So you can, because when it rises a little bit, it's going to start filling in that hole a little bit. So you want to make the hole way bigger than it's going to be at the end, because it will definitely shrink. And so yeah, bagels have holes in them so that they can cook all the way through. See? Pretty fast. And this one's a little bit smaller. I don't measure. I don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. And they don't have to be everyone identical. This isn't a store thing. This is you making bagels at home. The little inconsistencies is what makes it homemade, I say. Or maybe I'm just cutting corners. Now I'm laying them out on a tray just so I can let them sit. We're gonna make these and let them sit for a little bit longer, another 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. We're gonna set these guys aside and start boiling some water. So here's the tray with the bagels on them. And here's the same wet towel. Gonna do that. And now we're going to boil some water. Hi, okay, we're back. It's been 20 minutes. We've got our lovely bagels. They are looking pretty small and thin, and that nice little pattern going on there. Well, now we got to boil them. 2 minutes on a side. And so I'm going to show you what you do to boil bagels. Now, what people like to do, what I've read about and thought about, is that if you're going to do New York style bagels, you got to add a little bit of baking soda in your boiling water. So I got my big pot of water here, boiling. Put that on when we let the bagels proof. And just do a couple shakes just to soften the water. Okay. And then you add a little bit of honey, because you want that glaze, that kind of like nice brown color from the sugar on the outside of the bagel. So you have a couple of dollops of honey, a little bit in your water, not too much. There you go. And it's a little bit more than I usually put in. So now we're going to put the bagels in the water, and we'll show you how you do that. Okay. So we just flip the bagels twice, 2 minutes on each side in the boiling water. And you can see how they kind of turned oblong. They're not quite round anymore. I put maybe too many in the pot at one time. If you want to keep them round and give them space to expand, you can see how much bigger they are. because of the warm water caused them to grow. And they have a beautiful golden color to them. We're going to let them cool just for a little bit, and then we're going to dip them. In the meantime, we're going to preheat the oven 420 degrees, 420. And so that's going to happen, and while we do that, we're going to go ahead and mix up our egg wash. So we're going to just go ahead and do that right now. So our beautiful friend Kyrene has gifted us some of her farm fresh, backyard fresh eggs. And so you just take one little beautiful egg and put that in your cup. And what you do is you take the egg wash and just wash all the tops of the bagels. So I'll show you real quick. So now I got my bagels all covered in egg, so they're sticky. And what we did was we took some coarse ground salt, we mashed it up a little bit to make it a little bit finer. Salt's really good on bagels. Good to have salt. We got our poppy seed, we put that in there. Got our sesame seed, put that in there. And we like caraway. We have that in our black bread recipe. Caraway is great. You can put that in there. You can put a dehydrated onion. You have an onion bagel. You could do all of those, or you could do only one of those, or none of those. Or you could bake it for a little while and put some grated cheese on top of it. Whatever you want to do, put on a bagel. It's a lot of fun. But so here's our little mix of our seeds that we do. And all we do, now that we have our bagels, you just dip them. See? There you go. Just dip your bagels. Dip, dip, dip. And so right now we're still just kind of waiting for our oven to get up to temperature. You know, when you preheat your oven, don't start cooking until at least a half hour after it gets to temperature. You want to make sure that everything in there is right there up to temperature, especially if you're using a cooking stone, a baking stone, which is what I use, because you want to make sure that solid heat from that stone is right there. It's going to convey to the bottom of the bread that you're cooking. And so there it is, our lovely bagel. They're ready.